Welcome back to another fun-filled show. I'm your host. He is Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanchard Damas, aka Blanchy Kruger. Nicodemus can't stay just dropping by to say hello. Ask if you're doing one on the gray hoodie effect. Did you send me a video on the gray hoodie effect? A YouTube video? I got to go looking through my emails to see if you're talking about a video you sent. But anyway, welcome back, you all. Another fun-filled show. Today's show is entitled White-Only Towns, Racism, or Survival. Now, the reason why people are up in arms about an all-white town is because all-white towns don't symbolize racism. All-white towns don't symbolize hate. All-white towns symbolize we don't want nothing to do with y'all. So you see, the issue is white people not paying attention to everybody else. Because there's no way you all could say that you wouldn't want some racist white people to stay in their own town. I want you to think about the argument. They're saying that these white people are racist. So if they say we want to separate and have our own town away from you all, why would you all have a problem with that? I'll tell you. Because you know that means they're not going to fool with y'all anymore. And that's you all's worst fear. Your worst fear is that white people are done with y'all. And the crazy part is the people that deal with you all that are white, they're white liberals. And black folks, for some reason, can't grasp this concept. There are liberal whites and there are conservative whites. Conservative whites don't gentrify. Conservative whites aren't the Karens. Conservative whites see y'all cutting up and they just keep on moving. The liberals get involved because they have a connection with you all. Liberal whites and liberal Jews want to live around you all. They want to come and step over the homeless man as they leave out of their front door. That's what they want to do, all that crazy stuff. Not white conservatives. White conservatives deal with you on their terms, not yours. White conservatives don't bother y'all. All these videos you see, these are white liberals. The only time there's a conflict with a white conservative is when you all go into their spaces. That's when. Otherwise, they're not going to bother y'all. Now, the white liberal, that's different. But guess what? Y'all love the white liberal. Y'all love the white liberal. But again, the issue is that an all-white town means that white folks ain't fooling with y'all. That's all it is. Now, somebody in here is saying that this is all BS, but I'm going to ask you all a question on Instagram and YouTube. Who thinks that black people agree with the all-white town or disagree? Who would say that the majority of black people agree with the all-white town or disagree with it? Let's just ask the chat and see what they say. Don't take my word for it. What do you say, chat? Do you say that black people agree with the all-white town or they disagree with it? Now, we know in South Africa, they disagree with it. We know that already. I've done a show on that. They disagree. So we got disagree, disagree. So disagree. So somebody in the chat, and this chat's a little bit above their pay grade, but there's a difference between a town being all white and a town being founded on strictly white. Those are two different things. I tell you all the time that black people struggle with context. Context is what always trips black people up because they can't see the nuance in anything because everything is about race. So they're not detailed when it comes to thinking. I'll explain it again. There are towns or places that are all white or majority white. We're not talking about that. We're talking about white people specifically saying, we're founding this town right here and it's only white. Nobody else can come live here. That's something different. Now, do you think that black people are okay with white people saying only whites can live here? Of course not. Of course, black folks aren't cool with that. Black folks made up a lie about sundown towns. Of course they don't. Of course not. Most folks on this side are saying disagree or hate it. How about Instagram? What are y'all saying on IG? Do you think black folks agree with the whites only town or disagree with it? Because on the YouTube side, they saying disagree. Now, all the black folks commenting on this town are saying what? That they're racist. All the black people commenting on this town are saying they're racist and they destroyed our towns and sundown towns and how dare they try to exclude us. And there's all this video floating around going viral. There is no such thing as a sundown town. And you know how we know this? If there was a sundown town, that would be the #1 talking point of the Democrats. If there was a sundown town, that would be the #1 talking point for Democrats. A sundown town would be the center of every march, protest, right? Like it would be so much commotion around a sundown town to where it couldn't be a sundown town. But I'm telling you what's really a sundown town, the black woman's womb. The black woman's womb has aborted over 20 million babies since 1973. That's a sundown town. The black on black homicide rate in America, that's a sundown town. That's a sundown town, but an actual sundown town, absolutely not. That would be the #1 talking point for every Democrat politician. Every liberal, libtard Democrat politician would be saying sundown towns still exist. That's the reason. Like it would be so much commotion. Come on, we know it doesn't exist. Come on now. They got to make up stuff about police brutality. A sundown town? A sundown town? And look at what they say, right? This is what they say. They say, you can't be from America. Notice they never refute the facts I state. They never say what you're saying isn't true. What they say is, you're not from America. And I'm more American than the person on this thing talking. Anyway, but let's continue. There ain't no sundown towns. That would be that would be a news story running every day. Look how much commotion was made about an American Eagle commercial. Look how much commotion was made about an American Eagle commercial with Sydney Sweeney saying jeans, she has good jeans. That caused a commotion. What do you think a sundown town would do? What do you think a sundown town would do if a commercial caused all this commotion? You got to stop with the cap. Ain't no sundown towns. The only sundown towns are the black neighborhoods. The highest homicide rates exist in black neighborhoods. Those are the sundown towns. Now, I dare you to walk through the hood late at night. Forget the sundown town. You ain't got to go to no sundown. Go to the hood, go to the wrong block, and walk around and see what happens. It won't be no white sheets chasing you. You can believe that. It won't be any white sheets chasing you. You can believe that. No burning crosses. It will be the blick with the switch. That's what you're going to see. And listen, look at them on here. If you get caught in one, then tell me if they exist. I know how's the scene of sundown town. I's barely made it out. I's barely made it out. It was by the grace of God that I's made it out the sundown town. Oh, Lord. How they almost got me, Lord. Oh. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thank you, Lord, for getting me out of that sundown town. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, they so silly. You got to pray for them. You got to pray for black folks, y'all. You got to pray for them. You really do. Because they ain't got good sense. They ain't got good sense. But let's continue. Let's take a peek into this all-white town. Is it on my part 2? I know I had a longer version though, but let me play this one.
No Jews, no gays. High up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, building houses and a new type of community. It's called Return to the Land, and it is a town open to white people only. They are millennials and Gen Z, and this is a new update of age-old prejudice.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
But what this sounds like is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
Now, think about this. Look how this liberal reporter said that. This is like bringing back segregation. How is it bringing back segregation if white people are removing themselves? These white people are removing themselves from the situation. How is that bringing it back? We're saying y'all can have it. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Listen, you all, for America to stay America, listen to me clearly. I want to be clear. For America to remain America, white people have to be sovereign. There has to be places in America that are all white. It has to be. Multiculturalism is akin to Nimrod and the Tower of Babel. Multiculturalism, all of that mess is globalism. One world government, no borders, no races, no religions, global citizen. That's what all that stuff means. How is America going to be America if it ain't America? Do you see what's happening in Europe? And I told you all, they talking about the Middle East, but you got the Muslims moving to the white countries. So then guess what they're going to say? First, they're going to say it's a war in the Middle East. Then they're going to say, you know what? Now we got a war with the Muslims in the Western countries and government. That's the next play. The first play is you fight the ground warfare in the Middle East, Israel versus all the Muslims, all them Arab Muslim countries. But then the second attack is all the Muslims in the Western countries, in the governments running the country. So now I got to sit back and think, wait a minute, this has got to be on purpose, because there's no way y'all could be sitting there fighting Islamic extremists in the Middle East and then allow them to come into the country and be in the government. That doesn't make any sense. This has to be intentional. This has to be on purpose. And I keep telling you all that at the end of all of this, they're going to want your rights. It's funny how nuclear wars, climate change, pandemics, racism, transphobia, all of this stuff, Islamic extremists, how does all of this stuff end with you and not having any rights? Somehow, some way, they're going to say, listen, we need you all to give your rights up. That's what they're going to come and say. Either they're going to say it's because of this, they're going to say we got to do it because of the climate change, because of the nuclear weapon, because What again? So we need white people to have their own towns. We need white people to have communities. If nothing else but to be an example. And I'm going to show you what happened to the black town they started in Georgia. Now, you know there was a black complex here in Georgia with Dr. York and the Nuwabians. It was all, they had pyramids up there and everything. It was all black. The Nuwabians ran it, had a whole compound, a little small city. What do you think happened to it? What do you think happened to the all-black compound in Georgia with the Nuwabians? What do you think happened to it? You think it thrived? You think it made it? Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
But they are being kept out, even if...
Well, I mean, you don't let everyone into your home.
Around 40 people live here.
What black folks do you all know want to live in the Ozarks? What black people that you all know want to live in the Ozarks? The reason why they don't want to see this white town exist is because they know they're going to make it. And one thing I learned about white people, real white people, not purple hair, blue haired liberals, I'm talking about real white people. I'm not talking about white liberals. Those are hybrids. I'm talking about real white people. One thing I know about real white people is they'll go to the worst environment and thrive. Those real white people will go to the worst place, the place where nobody else wants to live, and they will thrive. Even in South Africa, they move way away from everybody, and they still got a problem with it. Let's continue.
Hundreds more from across the world have paid to be members. And while the men do the physical labour, the women take care of the children who live here full time. It could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do.
You might be wondering how any of this...
The irony of nobody having a problem with the all Jewish communities. Think about that. Nobody has a problem with the all Jewish communities. Nobody has a problem with the all Hispanic communities. Nobody has a problem with the all black communities. Like nobody has a problem with these groups of people living in their communities. But the moment these white folks say, we want to live in our own community and we don't want y'all to come in, to me, this is necessary. This is necessary. There should be multiple cities like this in every state. This is necessary. Otherwise, America is going to die. And y'all don't want to live in a dead America. You don't. You think you do, but you don't. Thank you, JV Chanel. Chinatown thrives in every city. Nobody has a problem with Chinatown. Nobody has a problem with Chinatown, Koreatown. Nobody has a problem with it. When I was growing up, there was an apartment complex down the street, maybe about 10 units, maybe about 20 units. It was small, nothing but Vietnamese in there. And that little apartment complex, we used to call it Little Saigon. It looked like Vietnam. Houses all around, regular neighborhood, but that little apartment complex, it looked like little Vietnam. It did. But guess what? They stayed right in there. They stayed there. Nobody wanted to live next to them. Nobody wanted to be there. No. Thank you, Denise. Little Italy. Come on.
Can be legal. Return to the Land is structured as a private members association, which they believe allows them to discriminate on the basis of ethnicity.
Now, look what this person just said on here. This person just said that the people in the all-white towns hire black people to work for them. Who remembers the video I did on that all-white town? Did y'all see any non-white people in the place? They do all their own work, sir. They do all their own work. There was no black folks working in that town. They did all their own work. They did everything they did was by white hands. That defeats the purpose.
Along with other factors. That has yet to be tested in the courts and may well fail. The Arkansas Attorney General has said his office is now reviewing the matter as a result of our reporting, and that there is no room for racial discrimination in Arkansas or anywhere in a free society. No blacks.
So I want you to think about this, though. I want you to think about these people setting a community up, and think about this. Why would somebody want to live in this community? Think about what I'm telling you. The community is all white. Let's say the court says, you know what? You got to open this town up to the other people. Why would you want to live there? Why would you want to move to the Ozarks and live around these white people? I'll tell you why, because you want to tear it up. There's no reason to even want to live there. You've never thought about moving to the Ozarks, never. Now, all of a sudden, everybody wants to be able to live in this white town with these white folks. Absolutely not. To me, this is an infringement upon their rights. Because everybody knows that white culture, Western culture, is the superior culture. So what's happening is you're penalizing them for having an adequate culture. The only folks who want to live around black folks are white liberals. And they only want to live around black folks in a nice house. They don't move into the projects. They move into a nice refurbished house. They're the only ones, white liberals. Nobody else. Nobody else wants to live around black folks except white liberals, because they get a joy out of watching you all suffer in utter decadence. It makes them feel good to do their part. Hey, little Jacquees, how's school going? Can you read yet? Why would anybody want to move into this town? Why would a black, Jewish person, gay person, why would they want to live in this town? For what reason? Other than to destroy it. That's the whole purpose. Let's continue. Let's continue. Imagine white people going through the exhaustion of white flight, just to wake up one morning and see some black folks living next door to you. Would you be upset? Imagine a white family saying, we don't want to live next to black people for whatever reason. Whatever reason, I don't know. For whatever reason. So they move to a different part of town. They move to the suburbs. Then they wake up the next one morning and it's a black family moving in. Do you think they're going to be kind of upset? Because those same black folks moving in are going to call the white folks racist. And I don't think people want to be very honest about this. We got to talk about the attitude that the average black person has towards a white person. If you do a survey tomorrow and you ask the average black person, are white people racist? They're going 9.9 out of 10 are going to say yes. So my question is, if black people feel that white people are so racist, then why do they want to live around them? It doesn't make any sense. Both of those things can't be true. I'm sorry. It can't be true. Donna's doing it, said it's called black fatigue, Blanche. Everyone is exhausted by it. Everyone is. Because people see the reason why people are having black fatigue is because black folks have so much leverage. They have leverage. Mark my words, they're going to start protesting this town. I'm telling you. Just give it some time. They're going to start protesting this town. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I just saw Judge Joe Brown talking about this all-white town unconstitutional. Judge Joe Brown, this all-white town is unconstitutional. Why would you even care? Nobody wants to live next to the Bliggities. Nobody. I was watching a podcast today, and these guys were talking about basically saying that America is set up to where people can come here and not be pro-America. They can come here, have their own communities that are anti-American with no problem. And he said, you get enough of those, then America becomes something where people just come here and set up shop. But it's literally many nations in America. It's no longer America anymore. This is why I said this stuff is necessary. Nobody wants to live in America if it's not America. That's the whole purpose that we live here, because it's America. I don't want to, I'm sorry. If I go to Ireland, I don't want to see a bunch of Muslims. I don't. If I go to London, I don't want to see a bunch of Muslims. I don't. When I go to London, I want to see the guys. I want to see white people. That's what I want to see. When I go to Ireland, I want to see some redheaded white people or some leprechauns. That's what I want to see. When I go to Scandinavia, when I go to Finland, when I go to these European countries, I want to see white people. If I want to see some Arabs, then I'll go to the Middle East. If I want to see some Africans, then I'll go to Africa. Back in the day, that's what made everything work properly, because you went to these people's country to learn and get the experience. But you didn't have your country invaded and taken over by that country. That's what made the world special. People traveled to have the experience. When I go to China, I want to see Chinese people, and I want to eat Chinese food. I don't want to eat no roti bread in China. I don't want no couscous or whatever it is. What's that stuff? What's that bread they be eating? Susu, I don't know, whatever it is. I don't want it in China. If I go to China, I want to eat something where I don't know whether it's rat or dog or chicken. I don't know. But if I go to China, I want to see Chinese people. If I go to Australia, I want to see white Australians. I want to see Aborigines, and I want to see kangaroos. That's what I want to see. I don't want to go to Australia and see a bunch of Muslims and air. I don't. Just like when I go to the Middle East, I don't want to see a bunch of other people. I don't want to go to Kuwait, see a bunch of white people. What makes the world that we can travel different places and see different people? Not pita bread. What's that Nigerian bread? It's like a dough. What is it called? What's that bread called, y'all? I forgot it. But anyway, so again, yeah. It's just like if you go to Chinatown and there's a bunch of Muslims there. It doesn't mean you don't like Muslims, but you're in Chinatown. I'm going to Chinatown for the experience. I'm not going to see Muslims. I'm sorry. Oh, there you go, Mika. Fufu. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Fufu. Thank you. Thank you, Jasmine. Fufu. Thank you, y'all. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to go to China. I got my chopsticks in my hand, and they give me a plate with some meat and then another plate with fufu on it. I don't need if I got fufu, I don't need the chopsticks. You see my point? The chopsticks go with how I'm going to eat the food in China. But if I got fufu there, it's going to, come on. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean.
For anyone that doesn't have context on white flight, what is that?
It's the sociological occurrence of what happens in communities when Black people sort of start making their way up socioeconomically and can buy homes or rent homes in neighborhoods that are predominantly white. So instead of white people accepting it, they sell their homes en masse. There's a sort of undercurrent of we better get out because these Black families coming in are going to ruin the neighborhood and bring down property values. So you better sell now and go further south into the southern suburbs. And so when you're young, you kind of know something is going on. You know, it's not like we were sitting around the kitchen table talking about.
Imagine being mad because someone doesn't want to live around you. Do you understand how entitled you have to be? Imagine you telling somebody, you can't move away from me. Could you imagine if Black people were in charge of America? They would torture white people. They would torture white people. They would say mandatory white family per every 4 Black households. They would torture white people. Imagine Black folks being upset because white people left. And the irony is after they left, your community went down the drain. See, it'd be different if white folks left and the community was thriving. It's not what happened. Because white folks left and it failed, they had to find somebody to blame. They just blame white people.
About white flight. But what you do know and you take in as a child is like these people are running from us. You know, it's like my dad, who is this, you know, amazingly kind and generous person who would have been good for a lot of these people's kids, these white folks' kids, to get to know and be around us who turned out to be who we were.
Again, Big Mike, you're a horrible indictment on your parents. You just said it. So the way you came out is an indication as to why they left. Because your parents produced you. Thank you for saying that. Your father and mother produced you. That's why they left. Because you were communist, socialist, Marxist. So your family leaving, white people leaving, it makes sense. I don't want my children around your father. Your father's going to poison them. And you know your parents are racist. And you know, little Billy and Sally, your parents are racist. They don't like us colors. Wish I would subject my children to that. Look how we turn out. We see. That's why they left. Big Mike.
And we were always going to be that. You're running from us. Well, our feeling was like, well, how stupid is racism? And how stupid are you for not really looking and getting to know? So race to me and my household was just a dumb manifestation of ignorant people.
But how are they ignorant if they don't want to live around you? How is that a knock on someone's intelligence? How? I don't want to live around you for whatever reason. I don't like the way y'all look. How about that? I don't like the way y'all look. I don't like the size of your nose, size of your lips. I don't like it. I don't like your hair. I don't like the way y'all walk. I don't like you. I don't want to live next to you. I don't. I don't like the size of your back. I don't like it. Ma'am, sir, your daughter has a very large back and very big hands and very big feet. If I look at her neck, she'll have an Adam's apple. She got an Adam apple tree. How is that being dumb and stupid because I don't want to live next to you? That's called preference. Look how narcissistic Black people are to think that everybody needs to want to be around them. Nobody wants to hang around Michelle Obama. No, who? And your weirdo brother, your brother's weird. Y'all are weird.
But we were taught to keep moving through it.
Keep moving through it. How you moving through? How are you moving through something, Big Mike, if they left? What was you moving through? They left y'all alone. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. All they do is lie. Right, what happened to the chef? What happened to the chef? Let me try to find. I thought it was a longer video of that town.
Blacks, no Jews, no gays. High up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, building houses and a new type of community. It's called Return to the Land, and it is a town open to white people only. They are millennials and Gen Z, and this is a new update of age-old prejudice.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites only place.
White American culture.
But what this sounds like.
See, and that's the problem is they've already deemed white American culture as racist. And the problem is you got to take back the language, white people. You have to reclaim the language. You have to be very vocal, and you have to back things up with facts and statistics about how there's this anti-white agenda. You have to do it because you've already been demonized unfairly. Everything you do as a white person, they're going to demonize it. They only accept you bending the knee to a marginalized group. You got to bend the knee to the bliggities. You got to bend the knee to the jiggities, the higgities, the wig. They want you to bend the knee to these degenerates and lowlifes. That's the only way you can be accepted, is to be an ally. When you're an ally, that means you're a footstool. So you're going to have to reclaim the language. You got to talk about anti-whiteism, anti-white. You got to talk about this stuff. You got to say, no, this is real. This is what's taking place. The data is out there. It's out there, trust me. The anti-white agenda is all over social media with stats, statistics. You can look up articles. It's everywhere.
Is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
It's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
But they are being kept out, even if...
you don't let everyone into your home.
Around 40 people.
Thank you, Boss Ride. This English guy really has some audacity. Let me tell you what Boss Rye said. He said the British guy can't be snarky. Their own country's overrun. Exactly. Your country is overrun. Your country is overrun. The whole goal behind this whole geopolitical fiasco is to destroy the Western nations. That's what this is all about. If you peel back all these layers, that's what this is all about. Destroying the Western nations. Because once they're gone, they're going to steamroll globalism. That's the whole point. I'm telling y'all, that is their goal. Destroy these Western nations. And I'm giving you all the play. They fighting all these people in the Middle East, and these same people is going to Western countries and getting in government, getting in city government, getting in the police force, getting all in city and local government. Then what? Now it's going to be war against the Western countries. I'm telling y'all, I saw the play a couple of months ago. I saw it. I said, man, boy, this is a slick plan. Because at the end of everybody's grievance, I don't care who the group is complaining, at the end of the grievance, they're going to be blaming white people, not white liberals. They're going to be blaming white people. The white folks that care about their country, that's who they're going to go after. That's who they're going to blame. Any white person saying, I want my country to be like this, that's going to be the target. I peeped the play. I'm telling y'all what's going to happen. They're waging war against Western nations, but they're hiding it behind all these other wars. Because there's no way you're going to have mass migration, global mass migration into white countries. The same folks y'all are fighting are going to the white countries. Everybody y'all so-called have a problem with, then people are migrating into other, come on. It's a setup. It's a setup.
People live here. Hundreds more from across the world have paid to be members. And while the men do the physical labour, the women take care of the children who live here full time. It could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do.
You might be wondering how any of this can be legal. Return to the Land is structured as a private members association.
You might be wondering how any of this could be legal. The media is horrible. When we talk about who controls the media, I don't care who you think controls the media. Somebody's controlling the media. This is why this is a lot of the, how can I say this? This is a lot of the problem. The problem is that the media is 90-something% going to one direction. Naturally, folks are going to say, who is controlling this? So when they start looking and seeing, okay, who is behind these networks? Who's behind these companies? That's what happens. You see, if the media was unbiased, then there wouldn't be any conspiracy theories about who runs them. The who runs them is coming from because the media is doing stuff like this. That's what makes people investigate and dig up and see, okay, this person owned it. Okay, that's what happens. But nobody wants to say that, though. Nobody wants to say the reason behind these conspiracy theories is because of what they're doing. You cut your TV on, you like, how in the world is all these networks got the same take? Everybody's saying the same thing. Thank you, Miss Graves. If the West falls, everybody falls.
Association, which they believe allows them to discriminate on the basis of ethnicity, along with other factors. That has yet to be tested in the courts and may well fail. The Arkansas Attorney General has said his office is now reviewing the matter as a result of our reporting.
So y'all done went there and reported to the Arkansas governor, and what'd y'all tell him? What'd you tell them when they sat down? When they sat down with you and talked, what'd you tell them? You say they were good people. What they're doing is good. What'd you tell them? When they spoke with you all, because they contacted you all, what did you tell them? These are God-fearing people. They were respectful to us. Even the dog I saw wasn't running around. What'd you tell them? I know what you told them. Told them they was racist. Told them they better do something about it before this spreads. I know what you told them. I know what you told them. I know what you told them. Reasons for white flight, reasons for a separate white town or towns, plural.
Say they're influenced by white people, they're influenced by whiteness.
What does that mean?
Whiteness is an ideology, it's a culture, it's a value system. And what we need to do is we need to eliminate that value system.
You want to eliminate whiteness?
Whiteness, not white people, whiteness.
But how do you eliminate whiteness without eliminating white people?
What I want to do is to create an environment that is more collective, that is more value driven, and I think that flies in absolute oppositeness with whiteness.
Are you saying that white people are evil?
No.
They're not evil?
Not at all.
But then if they're not evil, why would they treat another human being to a point that a man like you would want to eliminate whiteness?
We are all fallen people.
So, play this again. So, imagine somebody saying, we have to eliminate blackness. Because essentially what he's saying is, we have to eliminate whiteness. What he's saying is that white people can't be white anymore. That's what he's saying. He's saying because whiteness has values that we don't agree with. Jesse Lee Peterson asked him a great question. He said, how are you going to get rid of whiteness without getting rid of white people? Then he says, we want to create a collective. What I tell y'all before, if black people ran the country, they will be terrorizing white. Listen, what you got to understand is this. Black people want to be, black people know, everybody knows, especially black people. If you leave white people alone, they're going to thrive. Them thriving is going to be an automatic indictment on your existence. Because folks are going to say, okay, well, why are these white people able to do this and y'all are doing this? Now, he wants to get rid of whiteness. Well, what about blackness? If any white person said, I want to get rid of blackness, they would be called a race. It would be seen as like you wanting to get rid of black people. But when a black person says, I want to get rid of whiteness, oh, now it means something good and benevolent. This is a reason why there needs to be all white towns and how white people need to stop placating to this nonsense and this madness. Somebody called him a $2 Kaepernick. He's a great value Kaepernick.
I would not say they're influenced by white people, they're influenced by whiteness.
What does that mean?
Whiteness is an ideology, it's a culture, it's a value system. And what we need to do is we need to eliminate that value system.
You want to...
So my question is, what is the value system? What's the value system? Now keep in mind, America is still mostly white, and America is split between white liberals and white conservatives. So give me the nuanced answer on what does that look like? What values? What values do white liberals and white conservatives share? Please tell me. I'm curious. What are the values that white liberals and white conservatives share? Because you're saying whiteness. So tell me what about whiteness encompasses white libtards and white conservatives? You can't. You're just talking. It just sounds good. We got to get rid of whiteness. i.e., we got to get rid of white people. And the only way to exist is to be an ally. An ally means you're going to be a footstool.
Eliminate whiteness?
Whiteness, not white people, whiteness.
But how do you eliminate whiteness without eliminating white people?
What I want to do is to create an environment that is more collective, that is more value driven. And I think that flies an absolute oppositeness with whiteness.
So whiteness is anti-value. But if I go to the black neighborhood, tell me what values are they displaying? In the black neighborhood, tell me the values that are being displayed. If whiteness has bad values, then point me to the community that's all of something and there's great values in it. Conspic Mom said, wasn't Akon creating a Wakanda? What happened? Conspic Mom, what always happens? I'm going to quote Pastor Manning, you know black folks don't know nothing about running no nation. So what happens to all endeavors that black people try to indulge themselves in when it comes to being independent? They never work. They always fail because they indulge in a culture that lacks character. There's not enough character in black culture to build anything. It's just not. You mean to tell me that Adam got kicked? Adam and Eve were the first people to get evicted. And you want me to believe they also were the first people to build pyramids? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't. Adam and Eve were the first people to get evicted. And you want me to believe they also built the pyramids? They couldn't follow one command, but they was able to build a pyramid to line up with the stars. I don't believe it.
White people are evil?
No.
They're not evil?
Not at all.
But then if they're not evil, why would they treat another human being to a point that a man like you would want to eliminate whiteness?
We are all fallen people.
When I tell you Jesse Lee Peterson just cracked his head open to the white meat. He said, well, if white people aren't bad, then why you want to eliminate whiteness? And then he says, we're all fallen people. Oh, so now it ain't just whiteness. Everybody got to get eliminated. So now you're saying it ain't just white. Now we're all fallen. This is why there needs to be all white towns, because white people shouldn't have to be subject to stuff like this. They shouldn't be. I'm sorry. I don't even want to be around it. White people should not have to be around stuff like this. They shouldn't be. It's unconstitutional. This is domestic terrorism, if I can be honest. Saying you want to get rid of whiteness is really a terroristic threat, because we all know what it means. Boy, he cracked his head open.
What is the purpose of white people? Their purpose.
D. Elliott said, eliminating whiteness means elimination of capitalism. White people are associated with capitalism. This is socialist Marxist language. It is. So my question is, what happens to white people if the means of production are taken out of their hands completely? What's the next phase? Because once you get rid of capitalism, now you economically castrate the people. Then what happens to them? Once they don't have any political power or economic power or social power, then what's the next phase? Because there's an end to all of this Marxism and communism. There's an end to it. It ain't just getting rid of the quote unquote system. What happens when now you control the means of production, or let's say the state controls it? And now these white people can't be sovereign and can't be independent. What's the next phase? The next phase is going to be death. That's going to be the next phase. That's what I'm saying. All this stuff leads really to the erasing of white people. Thank you, Miss Graves. It's going to be enslavement first, then they're going to start killing. That's how it works. They're not going to take away white folks' power and let them live in peace. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to torture. D. Elliott said, communist revolution. And who is first on the list? The communist revolution, first people on the list, white folks. They're going to be the first ones on the list. They're going to take out 400 plus years of rage on them white people. And then the crazy part is white folks going to fight back and win. Then it's going to be a global movement. Then they're going to call in the UN troops. Then they're going to call in all the US allies. It's a cold game. It's a cold game. Because white folks going to defeat these folks, so they're going to defeat them. They're going to call for reinforcements. They're going to threaten to nuke America. It's going to be crazy. Because see, white folks ain't finna take this line down. They ain't gonna do that. White folks ain't gonna do that. Nobody knows the trouble I see. That ain't white folks. That's black folks. That's black folks. Pamela said that's awful. I'm telling you, it's true. It's true.
What is the purpose of white people? Their purpose was to try the human family with evil, to afflict the black, the brown, the red, the yellow, and even their own members with injustice and evil, to see whether evil is equal to good. Can evil produce the same results as good?
This is why white people need their own town. This is why.
What is the purpose of white people? Their purpose was to try the human family with evil, to afflict the black, the brown, the red, the yellow, and even their own members with injustice and evil to see whether evil is equal to good. Can evil produce the same results as good?
D. Elliott said they will target anyone who defends private property rights because that's why they are pushing to take the weapons away. Can't have a revolution with a well-armed citizen population. That is 1,000% correct. And I guarantee you, based on 2020 and 2021, I know who's going to fight for their private property and who's not. I already know. Based on 2020 and 2021, based on these Caucasians around the globe, when that stuff was rolling out, they was over there protesting in Europe with no guns, getting beat up. They was fighting to the death over there about them behind them shots. So we already know who's willing to defend their property to the death. It ain't Pookie, and it ain't Ray Ray, and it ain't Shanquisha. It ain't. I got another Farrakhan video. Where's the other one I had? And yes, Nikki, evil comes in all shades. There is nobody has monopoly on being good. Nobody has monopoly on being evil.
White man today is the clearest example that God lives, moves, and acts through human beings. You sit around, you see it rain. Oh, it's raining. You say, God did that. You hear thunder. God is talking to his children. White folks say, it's raining. How does that happen? He said, I can do that. Now he seeds the clouds and makes rain. Talk to me. You see the sun. Isn't it marvelous? Ooh, look at that sun. White folks say, I can do that. He experiments with the atom of the hydrogen. Now he says, I can create a sun. God said he's going to make life. You sit around and say, look at it, isn't it wonderful what God had done? White folks say, sure is. He gets in a laboratory and say, now look what I have done. God put a planet in space spinning. White folks say, that's marvelous. I'm going to put me something up and let it spin too. You sitting around talking about it's a shame the way people is these days. I don't know what done got into the people. They so crazy. White folks say, I know what got in them all right. He's now studying the DNA, going into the very genetic coding of the thing to cut out the infirmity or to add in something.
This is why white people need their own towns, because this is how most black people see white people. They see them as godlike figures, which is why they hold them to such a high standard. Now he's sitting in the mosque, and we know that black people listen to Farrakhan. He is a black pillar in leadership. He's one of them. So you know that black folks, most of them agree with him. Everything, think about what he said in the beginning. He said that white people are proof that there is a God. The same person just told you that white folks are evil and all this. The same person telling you how bad white folks are told you that you can see that God is real based on white people. This is why there's an anti-white agenda. And I told you all before that white people will pick the worst place to live and thrive. If you all ever have a chance, just talk to random white people or white men specifically and see what they know and what they know how to do. You'll be amazed at what, I ain't talking about a liberal. He got to have a spine and testosterone. I ain't talking about a liberal. But talk to some conservative white men and blue collar, and you'll be amazed at what they can do. Like when they show you what they've done, I'll be like, you did what? Like it's crazy. But guess what? That's their culture. Their culture was created around survival. Their culture was created around surviving and then thriving. Their culture was not built around barely making it or just getting by. This will do. That ain't how their culture worked. Their culture went from a cave to a castle. That's white culture. This is why I say that the anti-white agenda is the anti-God agenda. And it's not because white people are God. It's because white people dare to do what God challenges all of us to do. White people spread the gospel around the planet. White people did. White people were the ones fighting during the pandemic. White folks were the ones putting themselves on the line so folks didn't get to poke. That was white people. White folks the one that's always bucking. White folks be the conspiracy theories. Like white people, it's white people. But it's not because they're white. It's because of their culture. It's because of their culture. And Real Talk Nikki said, well, ours is victimhood and consumerism. It's sad. It's true, though, because Black folks care about what it looks like. Black folks want to feel good. They have itchy ears to hear something that's good. Now, I don't believe that no race is better than another race. I don't. But I do believe that cultures are better and worse.
He's not a fool. He's showing you that God was, God is, God shall always be a human being working through human beings for the benefit of human beings. And you that are looking for God in space. You will always be the slave of a man who knows the reality of God.
Isn't it amazing how this religion, they use the Bible, but they're Muslim? They don't wear traditional Muslim attire. They wear suits. Only the light-skinned people can lead. Like, isn't it just like Tierra? It's like confusion. You Nation of Islam, but y'all read out the Bible. You say Allah, but you say that Allah is a man.
And that is why you are under white people and they are over you, because you are worshiping a mystery God. And the white man says, I am God, and I will make you bow down and worship me.
I've never heard a white person refer to themselves as a God. I've only heard black people do that. I've never heard a white, even when I've watched racist people interviews, and they never refer to themselves as a God, ever. They never give themselves a divine title or nothing. Somebody asked who would win between Farrakhan and Christopher Walken. I think Farrakhan will win that debate. Kofi said anytime Farrakhan comes to the DMV, he's hosted by a Baptist church. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy.
My name's Nikki, N-I-K-I. I'm 32. I'm a lady.
This is Return to the Land, a group of millennials who organised online to build something radical and controversial. A town for white people only, that they insist is completely legal. We spent several days with them, watching as the men set about the physical labour of building out the site. All the while, the women of the group took on the more typically trad, homesteading type roles.
I guess I found the people through Twitter that ended up starting this project, actually spearheading it. And I went out to the first April event last year, and it was really fun.
The sort of white-only aspect of this, how important is that to you guys?
Given the premise that it's something that is kind of off limits for whites but is okay by implication for other groups, I do feel it's necessary to carve that out, and you kind of have to do it yourself.
It's kind of like if we don't do this, the laws are only getting worse as far as freedom of association goes. So it's kind of like we have to do this, or there might come a time where it's not possible to.
Are you guys aware sort of people are going to be watching, it's going to be controversial?
I think people just have a large misunderstanding of what's happening here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the biggest misunderstanding?
Well,
that we hate everyone else. Like,
yeah,
it's not about that by any means.
It's a loving movement.
I mean, on that aspect of it being loving, I suppose the counter argument would be it could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, or if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do, and I think that's great for them. And it's like if other people...
So again, this guy interviewing them, this is why conspiracy theories start up, because you have media members that are not unbiased. Just where has it ever been written in human history that to show that I'm not against a group of people, I have to live with them? Where's that written? Where's that written down in history? That if to prove that I'm not a racist, I gotta live. It's insanity. Black people have been saying for the past 10 years, we want a black space. We want a space with just black people. White folks can't come into this space. It's all they've been talking about. But then if white people say, okay, y'all got it, we're going to have our own space. Now they upset. Again, it's because it's an anti-white agenda. Nobody cares about racism until white people are racist. Nobody cares about inequality until white people are being unequal. Nobody cares about any of these ills that they say exist until white people do them. Because everybody else does them. The rest of the 7 point whatever billions are doing all that stuff. Nobody cares. They only care when white people do it. They just told you they don't hate anybody, but they want a community that's white. The same thing that everybody else wants. Thank you, Denise. As soon as they hear you can't, they want it. It's disgusting. These white towns are necessary for the survival of America. I don't care. I don't care. America needs to be majority white. I said it. Black folks at 13% is enough. That's the threshold. The country needs to remain majority white. If y'all want to enjoy America, it needs to be majority white. Because I guarantee you, if it's not, it's a wrap.
We're allowed to do it. I don't really see why whites aren't allowed to do it. It doesn't make any sense. So it's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
The leader, Eric Orwell, wants the community to grow and further what he calls traditional white American culture. And the group is explicit about this. It has an online fundraiser to give cash rewards to parents of newborns as a means to incentivize population growth. Just before we arrived, they donated $1,000 to a family for having their 6th child.
Is that part of the mission as well, to sort of have big families, to make the community bigger? Is there a sort of pressure there?
I don't feel particularly myself, I don't feel any pressure to like have a big family. I think there's a kind of expectation here that you do want to, as part of helping grow this thing, that you're going to have kids.
I think it's a beautiful thing. And like I told you all before, this is a pro-white channel. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's necessary. I think it's necessary for communities to say we don't want nobody else in them. I do. I think it's healthy, actually. I think it's healthy for you to drive by and the town says whites only. I think it's healthy. So like you can drive by a city or town and they say blacks only. I think it's healthy. Honestly, to be honest with you, I think if the country was like that, the media wouldn't be able to, work its magic. The media can only work its magic because folks are in proximity to each other. But you and I know when folks come together with the purpose, it's a different outcome. Just being around somebody for the sake of being around somebody is not good. But when people come together for a reason, there's actual purpose, it'll make better relations. The media won't have that much control then. But the fact that everybody's all intermingled and they're being sold on multiculturalism, if I don't believe in multiculturalism, I'm racist. No. I don't believe in it. Because what folks do is they come here and they cling on to their own culture when they're shifting into American culture. They're not going to let you go to China and have American culture. No country does it. No country will let you go to their country and set up your American. They're not going to let you do it. They're going to make you assimilate into their country. Trust me. You're not going to be able to go over there and just say, I'm gonna be American. I'm going to do it. No, they're not going to do it. They're not going to let you do it. But over here, folks can come over here and keep their same everything in America. What's happening in Portland? Last time I heard, Portland had been ran over by the libtards and the Marxists. Is Portland being taken back?
Of white supremacists has founded a 160-acre settlement in the Ozarks.
You see this? See what I mean? This is what makes somebody say, who is running this? This is what happens. This woman just said a group of white supremacists. Since when is it white supremacy to not want to live around some people? Thank you, Tierra. They bought the land.
A group of white supremacists has founded a 160-acre settlement in the Ozark Hills for white people only, and it's called Return to the Land. It was set up in 2023 by two men named Eric Orwell and Peter Cesare, and it explicitly bans Jewish people, LGBTQ individuals, and anyone who isn't a white Christian of European descent. In this case, it turns out Jews are not considered white after all. Now, this white-only town is vetting members through interviews and ancestry screening, and only those who can prove European roots are allowed in. Right now, about 40 people live there full-time, but hundreds more around the world have already paid for membership. And once accepted, members can buy land, but instead of traditional deeds, they're sold LLC shares tied to private plots. The group claims that this loophole lets them bypass civil rights housing laws. Well, joining us now is Gerard Filiti. He's a senior counsel at the Lawfare Project. So, can a community like this legally use LLC shares in a private members association to avoid civil rights housing laws? Are they going to be able to get away with this in modern America?
It's very unlikely that they will be able to get away with this in modern America, precisely because this runs afoul of anti-discrimination laws, federal anti-discrimination laws, and potentially state ones as well. Now, you
Senior Gerard Filiti, senior counsel, the Lawfare Project, and hashtag End Jew Hatred. Here goes the anti-Semitism. Here we go.
can have a private organization that does discriminate. As unsavory as and disgusting as that may be, in America, you can associate with people whom you choose. But when you're holding yourself out to the public, when you're opening yourself up for a membership, and especially when you are constructing or selling housing, then you have to comply by anti-discrimination laws. And that means that you can't limit who you sell to, even if they're trying to structure this in a clever manner.
See, and the problem is, that they only want to destroy it. When black people started a black town, where was this guy at? Where was he? Where was she? When black folks started a black town, where was everybody? Why weren't people saying it was, man, let me go to the video. Let's just go to the video.
Allensworth is the first.
No, not that one. We heard none of this rhetoric when it was black folks making this all black town.
You hear that? That is the sound of freedom. A lush and rugged expanse about 130 miles south of Atlanta, just shy of 97 acres. It's undeveloped, unincorporated, and it has.
I agree. Loves knows. Their mistake was announcing it. They should have quietly bought the land, already had the owners on place, and just went on with their business. Exactly. I wouldn't have did no interview, no nothing. Because the fact that you are white doing it, they're already gonna come to destroy it. It's horrible. But here goes the black town they got, and let's see what happens.
You hear that? That is the sound of freedom. A lush and rugged expanse about 130 miles south of Atlanta, just shy of 97 acres. It's undeveloped, unincorporated, and it has new owners.
It feels amazing. It feels really amazing. I cry every time I come here.
Renee Walters is one of them. She's president of the Freedom Georgia Initiative. It's a collective of 19 black families who recently bought this land. This dream all started a few weeks ago during Renee's typical morning call with her friend Ashley Scott.
She said, Ashley, did you see the article about Toomsboro for sale?
It turns out that the entire small town was never for sale, just a bundle of a few dozen homes and buildings. So Ashley, a real estate agent, looked for listings in the area and found one for this.
And it was just such a beautiful piece of land. It was affordable, and it just made sense that we could.
Now, how do you think they purchased this land? How do you think they were able to buy 97 acres? Now, we know they got masks on in the middle of 97 acres with nothing there. They got masks on, so you know their mind is already gone. The federal government gave them the money to buy this land. So they're telling you about all the laws, how disgusting it is, what the white folks are doing, but the federal government gave them this money to start this black town. Not one person said it was illegal. Not to stop Jew hatred people, not to 80. Nobody came and said that this is not no media spin saying this is wrong. Nobody. The federal government gave them this money to get this land. Nobody said a word about it. Everybody just clapped and was happy. White folks do it with their own money, and it's a problem.
Create something that would be amazing for our families.
Why were these two women interested in the prospect of buying a town in the first place?
It really was when we saw what happened with Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and the protest.
We both have black husbands, we both have black sons, and I was starting to get overwhelmed and have a sense of anxiety when my husband would leave the house to go to work.
So watching.
So the motivation for this town was to escape racism, oppression. Let me just look up real quick. I'm gonna go back to the video. I'm gonna look up something real quick. Freedom, Georgia. Because I'm willing to bet they haven't built a single thing on that property. Let me see if I can get some images. I don't see. All I see is a bunch of tents. Let me look. The Freedom Georgia Initiative. Let me just play. Let me see it real quick. Okay, let me just stop real quick and just go to this website. I'll be right back. Why is this not charging? Hold on. Let me go to my share screen. Just want to go to it real quick. Hope you all can see this. Let me see. Okay. Freedom Initiative. So I see 20 adults, maybe 19 adults. Okay, so let's see. A lot of sponsors. They have a lot of sponsors now. A lot. So let's see what it looks like. Let's see. Oh man, y'all see it? Hold on, do y'all see it? Hold on, let me. Y'all see Freedom Town? Do y'all? I told y'all they wasn't gonna build nothing on this land. I knew it wasn't built. I knew it. Kofi, a literal trailer park. Kofi, you mean to tell me y'all got all this land in Freedom Town and y'all got a y'all turned it into a trailer park. Top Herc say they're like they're like a bunch of food trucks. Yo, that's the construction site, man. Now this is on their website. This is a current picture. I am on their website. So there's their partners. Become a freedom builder. Our vision is to develop our vast resource-rich 502 acres of land. 502 acres of land. Show me the pictures. Show me the homes. The first thing they would show, if there was really some homes there, that would be the first thing on the website. It'd be on the first page. They on this thing begging for money. Our mission, economic empowerment, healing from racial trauma, building our own communities. Listen now. Our aim is to premier recreational, educational, and cultural destinations for Black families across the African diaspora. We welcome you, your family, and all Black allies to support us in our vision to be the change we want to see. So this is specifically a Black place. And notice what they say in the language, though. They say our aim is to be a premier recreational, educational, and cultural destination for Black families across the African diaspora. Then over here it says, our vision is to develop our vast, resource-rich 502 acres of land just outside of Toomsville, Georgia, for the establishment of an innovative community for environmentally sustainable living, health and wellness, agriculture, economic development, arts and culture for generations to come. All they got to show y'all is somebody shooting a bow and arrow, buy some dirt, and okay, here we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So this house right here is not actually, it says build this home starting at $450. Make an offer or get pre-approved today. Build this home, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths on 2,700 square acres, feet on 6 acres, basement lots available, starting at $450. Now, that's a good price, but in other words, they ain't building nothing. You got to build it. All they got is the land. They don't have a community. You got to go there and build. You got to go there and pay for this. Now imagine you go here and you dumb enough to fall for this, and you go and build your house, and you're the only one. You're the only one on all these acres that got a house built, no neighbors, no nothing. You calling them, they in the city, spending your money. They at the hook, when you call they at the hookah lounge, pipes done broke, structure falling apart. Man, boy.
People protesting in the streets, while it is important, and I want people to stay out in the streets, bringing attention to the injustices of Black people, we needed to create a space and a place where we could be a village again, a tribe again.
So Renee and Ashley reached out to family and friends, and together they bought what they intend to name Freedom, Georgia.
So again, they are specifying that this is strictly for Black people. And they got this land from the federal government.
A new Black city.
We don't intend for it to be exclusively Black, but we do intend for it to be pro-Black in every way.
Jessica Gordon-Amard is an economist and an expert on Black collectives.
I've found tremendous benefits to individuals, families, and the communities that are involved in it, including, the economic stability and prosperity, but also leadership development, social capital development, other kinds of human capital development. And so it's really a win-win for everybody involved.
I thought y'all hate capitalism. Human capital, money capital. I thought y'all hate capitalism. Now you want to make money?
To be involved.
The owners hosted the Big Black Campout over Labor Day weekend. Supporters drove in from across the country. The plan is to introduce farming next, create a lake for sustainable fishing, facilities for recreation, and eventually develop a fully operational, expanded city.
By being able to create a community that is thriving, that is safe, that has agriculture and commercial business.
Imagine them talking about safe, knowing good and well Pookie and Ray Ray spinning the block.
That are supporting one another and that dollar circulating in our community. That is our vision, and to be able to pass this land down to my children and to the children that are represented by each of our 19 families as a piece of legacy. We're hoping to create legacy.
I guarantee, as we saw, ain't no guarantee, we know it, they have done nothing with that land. The project is too big. When you do something like this, all those acres, you got to start small and you got to expand. So they should have came together and built a house, but all the money was spent buying the land from the government. They don't have any money. That's why they're trying to tell us that we can buy a house and build it on the property. But they're going to charge you for those 6 acres and to build that house. And they're going to take that money and they're gone. Charles, blacks are only mad about white only towns because they won't be able to go there, rent an apartment to destroy it like they do everywhere else. Exactly. Because that's all they want to do is destroy it. That's all they want to do is destroy that white town. Now think about it. Isn't it funny that black people are more concerned about the white town and not the black freedom town in Georgia? They got more energy towards the all white town than they do the actual freedom town in Georgia. It's crazy. But Blanche, the joke's on them. They don't realize we charge up our melanin in the sun, so we're ready for whatever they do just after sundown. Exactly, Kofi. Black folks love talking about all their gifts and the melanin and all the powers they got, but can't defeat racism, can't defeat the white man, can't defeat oppression, can't defeat diabetes, can't defeat the craving for that 10-piece all flat lemon pepper with extra ranch, can't defeat nothing, but got all the powers and the gifts. The Bliggities want vengeance against penance, the Bliggities want vengeance against penance from and or to inflict suffering against the white people. We need Jesus. That's all they want to do. Because black folks got a whole town in Georgia, Freedom, Georgia, that they can support. Why haven't any celebrities built a house on there? All these black folks with money, and none of these black folks have given their money and energy to Freedom, Georgia. Why not? White folks getting their money. Those white folks have their town up and running. They got their town started in 2023. Look where it's at now. Vintage Goods Willie, it's black folks can't live with a definitely canned TiVo without a good riddance to Pookie and Noxzema. I don't know what that means. It's black folks can't live with and definitely can't. Oh, I got it. Okay. Black folks can't live with and definitely can't live without and good riddance to Pookie and Noxzema. Thank y'all. Thank you, Vintage Goods Willie and Willie Doc and Kofi 19 and Charles. Thank you, Cruise Missile. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you, D5280. Thank you so much. I want to thank hold on. But again, my question, back to my question though. Why are black people not supporting Freedom Georgia? Why are black people now somebody said in the chat, these folks in this picture are just friends and family. These aren't any people that actually they solicited. These people they know already. But my question is, why hasn't any of the black people with the money and the power, why have they not invested in Freedom Georgia? Why not? Listen, y'all. Thank you, Goddess Nabi, for moderating. Thank you. I don't know if Angel Wings was in here tonight, but thank you so much. Thank y'all for keeping the chat lit. Love y'all. Thank you so much. They need Killer Mike. But honestly, I don't even think that, like, when people go out there, nobody wants to be the first. And that's going to be the issue. Who's going to be the first sacrificial lamb to be that one house out there with nobody around? Nobody's going to do it. There's no fun, like it's dumb. It's a dumb model. Who's going to come out there and build a solitary house? There's no farmland. There's no area. There's nothing out there. You're going to build a nice house and do what with it? Man, please. Thank you, Greg Witch. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you. Exactly. They are pulling a Dr. Umar. They recruit through the Black Achievement Fund, which is one of their sponsors. Check out their page too. Let me see the Black Achievement Fund. The Black Achievement Fund. Let's see what they're talking about. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. They got, and you could build a pyramid. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is worse than this is, oh, no. You shouldn't have showed me this. Oh, I gotta go. Listen, I gotta go, y'all. But listen, when I come back, we are going to look at this Black Achievement Fund because, oh no, oh no, they own 8 acres and they are trying to raise $75,000 to build their first guest house. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, y'all gonna like this. Oh my goodness. Ain't built nothing. Ain't built nothing. All these parcels of land available. It's talking about they got one that's sold and one under contract. I know that's cap. I know that's cap. Oh yeah. We got to go through this next show, y'all. It's gonna be good. Oh my goodness. Listen, y'all, I love y'all. And I will see y'all on Saturday. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Love y'all. See you. Kofi said you better screenshot it before they take it down. Right. They have a little storefront club. I got to see it, man. I got to see it. Listen, y'all. Love y'all. And I will see y'all on Saturday. Have a good night.